Okay, here we are again. This is more feedback on this page. There's a few changes to how this should work that are different from what I said in my other video. So use this one. I met with Neil and Scott and LJ today for a couple hours. We went over this page extensively. We felt like that there was some stuff that we hadn't thought about, thus it wasn't in the spec, and of how this should work. And so we're not surprised that anyway, we needed to explain how some of these things worked. So so first of all, I'm not sure why all the markers are orange instead of blue. We need to make them like the mock-up, which they're blue in the mock-up. The designer thought that they stood out better because some of the roads are orange. I know there's blue water and blue signs as well, but we need to make all the markers blue. And so obviously, this map needs to be zoomed in down to kind of a street level. Our idea was that we really wanted to kind of adjust the map so that the default view was that we were getting between 20 and 30 hotels on the map. I don't know if we can do that because that may be a little bit backwards from how this is working, but we need to get down to a view where you can really see the hotels. We're thinking like this kind of a view when you first start. Again, you can see how the map shifted once the search results is done. The map shifts. Basically, we want everything on this page to be based on the map, and so the results on the left are based on the map. So if I zoom in and I can only see one hotel on the map, I should only see one hotel in the search results, because you'll see that in a minute. Again, after it searches, the map shifts again. We can't have that. We need the user's picking a specific location where they want to go, and they want to find out the hotels around that. And so it's important that we make that work. So on this overlay, if you look in the mock-up, in the mock-up on the bottom of the overlay, there's like a little triangle, and the triangle points to where the hotel is. And so if I click on a hotel, what we need to do is we need to bring that hotel kind of down to the bottom of the map, so that the overlay can sit right above it and point exactly to where that marker is on the map. And I think if you look at the mock-up, you'll see that, because right now what happens is when I click on one of these, the map shifts, and now I don't even know where the hotel was that I'm looking at here, and so we need that to happen. So a couple things on the UI here. First of all, this drop shadow at the top of the gray box here is much too strong. It doesn't look like the one that's in the mock-up, so we need to lighten the top there. And then also you'll notice there's too much white space above it. And so in the mock-up, there's about an even amount of white space above that line as below it before you hit this date selected stuff. So we need to make that happen. This Las Vegas hotel deals text needs to be larger. It should be the same size as this Las Vegas secret spots text up here, so that stands out a lot more. It's a main piece of the page. On the mock-up, we have the calendar drop-downs, the calendar selection boxes at the top of this instead of the text, and so we need that. On this one, we can keep this 1 room, 2 adults, and 0 children text, but we need to take this change dates off and then make it so you can just click on the calendars to change the dates. I'm not sure why it's that way. One change that's different than the mock-up, there was some concern that you can only see 4 hotels here on the left-hand side. So what they want to do is they actually want to extend the height of the map and this left column so that you can see 6 hotels on the left-hand side. So the map's going to be bigger. This left column's going to be bigger. And another thing is, it seems like that we're losing some space here in this left column that we could be using for text. So we'd like the text to go closer to where the prices are. What we're hoping is we can get all of these down to like 2 lines. 1 line for the hotel. Some of them it's not going to happen. Like this one won't be on 1 line. It'll still be on 2. But it will be on 2 instead of 3. And like on this one, the marketing text should be on 1 line. You know, we can take it out to, you know, fairly close to the price. Another thing is the price on the mock-ups is centered vertically up and down. And so you can see here, we don't want this centered at, don't want it against the top. We want it in the middle of this row, up and down. Okay. Also, he felt like it was too close. These prices were a little bit too close to the right-hand edge of this column, so we want all these prices bumped over about 20 pixels to give it a little more white space. And then also the strike-throughs aren't lined up on the right with the prices. They need to kind of all be lined up instead of this jagged edge here. Okay. One functionality change here as well is that if you look at how the Hotel Finder does this, it's actually kind of more how Chipmunk or Hipmonk, H-I-P-M-O-N-C-K, it's a hotel site. If you go there and look at it, you can see kind of how this works. But what we want is if someone mouses over this whole row right here for the Palms Casino Resort, the idea is that the left side's tied to this right side map, right? And so if they mouse over it, what we want it to do is we want it to highlight the marker of where that hotel is. So that marker should highlight, or it needs to change colors or something. And if I highlight over another one, then I should see that highlight over on the map. If I come down, and I should be able to see, I guess, all of these hotels on the map. It looks like I'm only seeing 4 hotels on the map, partially 5, but I see a whole bunch of hotels here. And so, you know, this should only be the hotels that I can see on the map. If I mouse over them, then we change the color of that so that they know exactly where that hotel is. You know, so the idea here is that if I center this and I say, you know what, I know that I'm going to be staying at the Rio, or I want to gamble at the Rio Casino, and I want to see, but I don't want to stay there. I want to see what hotels are near that. So this left side is where I would go, and I would kind of mouse over them and say, oh yeah, this one's right here. Yeah, that one looks good. I'm going to do that. So we need that mouse over functionality and highlighting the marker on the left, or on the map, sorry. Another thing is that if I click on this overlay, right now the only way that I can get out of it is to click the little X button, which we like the X button there, that was in the thing. But we want this to work kind of like the A version, no, the B version, whereas if I just click anywhere outside of the overlay, it just removes the overlay. So I can either remove it by clicking the box or just clicking anywhere else on the map, and that overlay will disappear. Okay, attractions. Attractions are really confusing. So if I come over here in this attraction list and I say I want to look at the fountains of the Bellagio, okay, and I click on the fountains of the Bellagio, it's very cool that we pull up hotels near the Bellagio, but obviously this map, I don't know where that is at all based on what I just clicked on, and so what that needs to do is it needs to zoom in right where the fountains of the Bellagio are. So it's going to be, you know, something like this. I'm lost. Right? It's going to be there. And what we need to do is we need to put a different colored pin down for the Bellagio so I know where that landmark is. So if I click on an attraction or a landmark, I want to see the map centered on that landmark on the map. And the same for this landmark. If I come in here and I choose one of the landmarks, the Fountains at the Bellagio, I mean, it looks like you already have that piece working because I clicked it down here before. If I click on one of these, then it should do the same thing. Center on the map, needs to put down a little marker on the map of where that is so that I get, oh yeah, that's where it is. Not all of the places of interest are going to be called out on the map like this Bellagio is, and so, you know, if I click on a museum, you know, the map may be, you know, in one of the casinos, or it may be in a neighborhood. Who knows where that is? And so we need to make it very clear where that landmark is and change the map to match it. Okay, this is a good start on this. I know this mapping's really tricky. But do your best. It's really important because this one and the next one, which the C version we haven't looked at yet, obviously is, you know, the mapping is the main reason that we're doing these destination pages, and we think it's going to really help. Again, this save up to 50% image, I'm going to be sending those over as soon as he gets me those. He told me he'd have them today, so so we'll have that. All right, it's coming along. Thanks.